and I just got done. Ryan here, and I just got done watching the Federated Auto Parts 400 at Richmond Raceway, and that was unexpected. Yeah, not even really sure where to start with all this. You know what? Let's start with the winner. Brad Keselowski gets his, I believe it's his fourth win of the season. The 600, Bristol, then New Hampshire, which I was actually in attendance for, and then this one. I don't know which one was more dominant. Now, I think that really puts into perspective he could win this title if he can survive the round of 12, which has been his demise the last several years. That's just kind of been his Achilles heel, his place that he couldn't overcome so far. Basically, since he last made the championship 4, he's yet to make it past the round of 12. But he's showing some strength here by winning a very dominant Richmond 400, which is very impressive. And kind of in Richmond fashion, there weren't a whole lot of spins or crashes. It was a very old school style of race. But I don't think that means it's a bad race, because I'm sure there are plenty of people that are going to say, oh yeah, it was a snooze fest and whatnot. Because there was no cautions for contact outside of... there was the comp caution, the stage 1, stage 2, and that was the entirety of the cautions for that race. And I feel like it kind of, interestingly enough, produced a strategy that would have been lost had we had caution flags just kind of thrown in here and there. Because I did find myself occasionally begging for the caution to try and help certain drivers that I really like. Try and help them out. But in reality, looking at the big picture, I think this race was improved by not having cautions, because it really emphasized the one-stop versus two-stop strategy. Now, personally, I feel like they should have just left the stages alone. I'm not really a big fan of it being 80 laps, then nearly double that, then a little longer for the final stage. At Richmond, I just don't really see the need to make it that complicated for a fan watching at home, rather than knowing, okay, it's going to be 80, 80, and then the rest. Or as it has been in the past, 100, 100, and the rest. So that was one thing, though I think that did kind of allow us to see kind of a preview of what the finish of the race would be like, because we got to see one stop versus two stop, and it really emphasized how important two stop was, to the point where only 2 drivers attempted the two stop strategy, and I don't think either of them really finished all that well. The 2 Chip Ganassi cars, let's see. Kurt Busch 13th and Matt Kenseth 16th. So yeah, no. Neither of those 2 really got that great a finish. Actually, both, I believe, off the lead lap even. Which is kind of a disappointment. But the fact that Reddick was the worst RCR car here tonight, in 11th place, I think would be a big statement if we said that back earlier in the year. But the last 2 races, I mean, I don't know if I certainly have not given Austin Dillon enough credit. I don't know I'm not convinced that is Austin Dillon in that car. I mean, second at Darlington last week, and having a dominating car in the race today. I mean, he had probably one of the top 2 best cars in the race. When in clean air in particular, but even when passing cars, he was able to do it. Not every driver was able to do that tonight. He ended up finishing 4th, but man, I just think that shows. First off, he's gonna be going into the next round of the playoffs with a massive. He's gonna be going in there with a massive amount of momentum, assuming he doesn't kill it all at Richmond. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this also will now put him... Let me see if the points are updated. No, the points are not updated yet from it, but that will put him 30-something above the playoff cut line, which means he just needs to have an okay day at Bristol, and he will advance. Now, if he's able to keep the momentum going with another top 5, I mean, that's 2 top 5s in a row. When was the last time we saw either RCR car pull that off? I mean, I think the 8 car might have pulled it off earlier in the season, but that 3 car certainly hasn't done that in a few years. I don't even think he got 2 top 5s all of last season, and he's gotten that in a row to start the playoffs. So, massive congratulations to Austin Dillon on being able to pull that one off. Truex, Logano just kind of putting in workman-like days. Same with Kyle Busch. I mean, solid solid 6th place finish, solid top 10. Really, all he needs to advance is solid. But what he really needs is momentum, because he has none of it right now. He has really not done much to really build momentum this season. But I'll be honest, I can say the same thing for MTJ. Other than that one win at Martinsville, he really hasn't done much to swing the pendulum in his favor either, momentum-wise. Then you've got guys like Byron and Bowyer, who both were kind of just non-factors today. And they'll end up battling it out for the final spot at +3, -3, Bowyer over Byron. But I think the biggest question mark for me personally is just why Blaney and DeBenedetto were so awful today when their other two Penske affiliates were so much better. I mean, you had 2 Penske cars in the top 3, and then the next Penske or Penske affiliate car was, let me see, because I don't actually know for sure, but they both had pretty bad days and are going to end up finishing well down the order. Let's see, race results. DeBenedetto got 17th and Blaney got 19th. So, yeah, not good days for either of those two. So, not a great day to be a Penske car if you're not one of the top 2 guys of that team. Denny Hamlin just kind of had an average day. I thought he was my pick to win coming into tonight. Amarola and Bowman just kind of doing what they need to do to advance. But yeah, I think the big thing that really made this race as good as I think it personally was the ability to focus on those strategies, because you didn't have many, if any. I think the only time I was even worried about, a caution might come out, was when Davison got into the wall and they managed to not throw the caution. So, good job NASCAR for not throwing the caution. I'm glad in retrospect that you didn't throw it, because definitely think it helped keep the focus on the strategy element of 2 stops versus 1 stop, which is usually something we only get to see on the road courses, because it's about, okay, can you make it on 2 stops, or will you need 3 for the entire race or whatever? And that really, I think, improved this race quite a bit, and that's actually kind of why I like Richmond, is that it can race. It has races that are like a Bristol or a Martinsville every once in a while, and you can have races like this one that play out like a Sonoma or a Watkins Glen, where realistically, I mean, your fuel and tire mileage that you get out of those things and the amount of speed you're able to keep throughout the run really plays into it. I think the only thing I would probably change about this race, because they've mentioned how this is pretty much the closest thing you're going to see to Phoenix in November, because of it's the same tire, same package, and all that. I think the only tip I would probably give to NASCAR for the championship race is I would maybe make the tire last a little better, or hold on to a little bit more speed if they can at all, if they know a quick fix to do that. If you don't know a quick and easy proven fix for that strategy, I would almost say just don't touch it, just leave it alone. Let the racing play out similarly, because I think that would actually put on a very good show. And to be honest, I saw so many people complaining, and it's like, the racing at Richmond like this, I actually quite enjoy, and that's why it's one of my favorite tracks on the schedule. Because you're not going to have a barn burner finish every time you go to a short track. But this one was a solid race. I mean, you had comers and goers. You had guys like Hamlin do time at the front. You had Austin Dillon up at the front. You had Truex up at the front. You had Keselowski up at the front frequently. You had Kevin Harvick at the start up front. You had Kyle Busch get up to the lead for a portion of the race. I mean, you had a fair amount of cycling through for the lead. I honestly don't know what more I could have really asked for, other than a photo finish or a slightly better day in the NASCAR fantasy app. Like, that's really the only thing I could really ask for a better day, because, I mean, my fantasy lineup did not finish very well. Let me see where I even finished anyway. Yeah, I finished really badly, actually. 6 out of my entire group. And the guy I'm fighting with for points got first, of course, so... yeah, that's pretty much everything. So feel free to let me know what you guys thought on this race down below. Did you guys think it was a good race, bad race? What do you think, if you were NASCAR, what you guys would do to change this racing, in particular for Phoenix in November? But other than that, that's pretty much everything. So hope if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new so you guys don't miss an episode. I try and do these videos fairly frequently. I've done it a lot recently because there's been a lot of news. But other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video, live stream, or whatever you guys decide to do with the rest of your night. Have a great night, everybody. Goodbye!